live from Roswell, the greatest story of our existence.
Aliens! We're gonna wake them up.
Welcome to Roswell, New Mexico.
Look at this, Main Street Disneyland.
This is definitely the place to be.
The only town in the world with 2 UFO museums.
We were first.
This is the kind of stuff that is not necessary.
You don't buck heads with my wife very often and survive.
I will cancel.
I'm going to be out there with my 12 gauge, and we have to be prepared for the worst.
Oh my God.
Previously on Eyewitness.
And action.
Reporters began their descent on Roswell, New Mexico for Encounter 97, the 50th anniversary celebration of the alleged UFO crash landing there.
Coming up in a live report, we'll show you the fun, the facts, and the fiction.
The event's organizers, Stan and Dion Crosby, tried to fend off pressure from the media.
Somebody's out there turning it up saying, hey, these guys are going to fall flat on their face and we're not going to be able to handle it.
If they drop the ball, not again. I won't work with them again.
Oh my God, it's them! Behold, they return!
And even Roswell's community theater is getting into alien fever. The curtain's about to rise on a play about UFOs and the Bible.
Am I pretty yet?
How you doing, man?
It was the eve of Encounter, and the mayor had the Corns and the Crosbys and a few other people over to his house to talk about last-minute concerns and to try to relax a little before Encounter begins.
I've been over to the mayor's house before.
Never have. It's pretty nice.
How long have you known Tom and Stan?
Pretty good while.
Yeah? Like how long?
Like how long? Well, a good while.
I mean, since junior high, or?
No, I'm not. I'm not as old as them guys.
We've got the big meeting room across the way, so I've got 3 separate rooms for press.
Okay. Guys, we're here to have fun.
No, we're on this planet to do UFO festivals.
How is it going to affect you if it goes well or not well?
We're really rolling the dice big time. If we are successful, we've hit a home run. If we're not, maybe we get caught sliding into first base and break our leg.
A lot of people in Roswell are waiting for this to blow up. Something that, bad to happen. Maybe the crowds to overwhelm us or something. And then Tom and I take the grief.
Well, that certainly is possible.
We're going to have to just plan for the worst and be pleasantly surprised. And you may have the worst problem yet, Hub. I tell you. Sean Gary, be nice. Nice. I'm a little disappointed in the National Guard that they're not going to be a permanent presence. We're just going to have to call them in case we have a problem.
People who don't have problems aren't in the game. I mean, if you have problems, you're in the game.
What are your biggest fears for this thing?
If I really screw up,
Damn straight.
there's a lot of family pride and history to be washed down in the tubes, I guess.
It's opening night for Ezekiel's Wheels.
I'm just wondering how the ticket sales have been.
Ezekiel's Wheels, ticket sales yesterday were slow. They're picked up today.
You come for the play?
Yes, we're looking forward to it.
Have you heard anything about it so far?
No, nothing.
Are you from Roswell?
Yes, we live here. We go to all the whole theater
We go to all the plays.
Yeah.
Just 1 or 2? 2, please.
Am I pretty yet?
So it's opening night.
Eek!
How do you feel?
When I first look out and see all these people standing there looking, just for an instant, you get kind of nervous, and then once you start, you fall back into this training that you've had.
Okay, you're done.
Thank you. How do you feel before opening night here?
You're always a little nervous. That's part of the charisma of opening night. It has plus and minus features, and sometimes it feels like fun, and other times it feels, oh God, what have I gotten myself into?
Last minute nerves.
Ron, how do you feel about opening night?
Oh, I'm excited.
Excited?
Mm-hmm. Let's go. Let's do it.
Just going over them again, just for the heck of it.
Ron was having some trouble remembering his lines, and so They gave him an earpiece so that someone could read his lines to him from backstage.
Okay, thank you, God. Okay.
Curtains closed, correct?
You hear me?
Yes.
Ezekiel, up in the sky, look, what is it, a cloud? And I looked up and sure enough it was a cloud. A great, big, terrible cloud with lots of lightning. That's the wheel I saw in the middle of the other wheel. I want to know how you can tell me that when you weren't there. How do you know? How can you? Oh. You've seen flying wheels too, right?
No, Zeke, I've never seen one.
Listen, do you hear that?
What is it, a sandstorm?
Oh, I wish that it were.
But the noise grows louder.
Yes, boy, it does.
And there's lightning.
And fire.
Wait, it's them.
Yes, boy, they've returned. Behold, your answers draweth nigh.
As Encounter 97 approaches, the press seems to be getting the best of Stan and Dion.
If you guys need to move the Alien, move the Alien.
There's too many camera crews around here today.
And from the looks of it, Roswell is preparing for a huge extravaganza.
Look at this. It's like going to Disneyland.
There's a lot of good things about Roswell, New Mexico. It feels like small-town America. Whether we like it or not, things will change.
The Sci-Fi Channel is live from Roswell all this weekend with reports on the 50th anniversary of the legendary UFO crash in Roswell.
When we first arrived in Roswell 4 weeks ago, I had no conception of how big an event Encounter 97 was going to be. There's been a lot of talk about how many people are going to be coming. We've heard figures from 50,000 to 150,000.
Roswell has a lot of visitors this week, and so far, everyone seems to be having a good time. A temporary pedestrian crosswalk has been installed.
Stan Crosby is the main force behind Encounter 97. He's an oil and gas man, but he told me he hasn't worked in 2 years because he's been focusing solely on the event.
Look at this. It's like going to Disneyland, you know, Main Street Disneyland. There's people all up and down. They're having to walk around each other to get up and down the streets. It's amazing.
I think his reputation is on the line, and he's out to prove his critics wrong.
The problem is that we're very conservative here. And hey, we're forcing it down their throats, and a lot of people resent that.
Encounter 97 kicked off today with this ceremonial ribbon cutting and flag raising.
Mr. Mayor, if you would please open this ceremony, this event. Welcome everybody to Roswell, New Mexico, home of the Roswell incident. Thank you.
For all the talk about extraterrestrials and UFOs, it seems like the real aliens that are descending on Roswell are the media from LA and New York. They're foreign to Roswell, and Roswell is foreign to them.
Can you ever imagine that you would be famous like this, the international media crowding around you for something as seemingly bizarre as it?
I mean, you know, after Andy Warhol made his statement about 15 minutes of fame, maybe this is my 15 minutes.
So what's the assignment?
The assignment is we were just asked to come out here and shoot a fun piece for German TV. They're interested in it. Not seriously, but they're interested in it.
What are you going to focus on?
I don't know. I really don't.
International UFO Museum.
if you guys need to move the Alien, move the Alien. You want to just step in there and try and get maybe a shot or two of its face before?
I understand you wanted to take the Alien out of our room.
Not us.
Dion Crosby is married to Stan, and she is the director of the UFO Museum, which is the big museum in town.
Jack.
Oh, yeah, me.
You. Lord, there's too many camera crews around here today.
There aren't many women in powerful business positions here in town, and she takes a lot of pride in being one of them.
This is a problem.
If we get a car to bring him back and forth and make sure.
Well, that's not the thing. They have a car. The problem is, I refuse for you guys, because you've changed the schedule, to screw up their schedule of their appointments.
Who are you with?
MSNBC?
A lot of press are sort of using the museum as a headquarters, and Dion is constantly inundated by them. And I think that she's getting a little irritated with some of them that are more demanding.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Do you have my cell phone?
Yeah, I got it.
Great.
Thanks. That's what's frustrating. For her to come in, for them to come in and completely rearrange all the scheduling and everything. Because I don't have a lot of playtime with a lot of these speakers because they're so busy, and then expect me to get them to the right spot.
Don't miss the costume contest. At a pre-encounter press conference, some of the reporters are questioning the entire concept of the event.
So we should perceive this as purely a tourist festival.
This is a UFO festival. You know, I mean, it's not an anti-UFO festival.
And Dion's patience is getting pushed to the limit.
I just told her, I said, you know, we're doing a service for you. And she said, oh no, we're giving you publicity. And I said, we don't need any more. I said, you keep in mind that we're giving you a service. I guess they're ready for us downstairs. Outside?
Stan and Dion are unstoppable. They've both been criticized for their ambitions and what some consider crass commercialization of the UFO industry. But others say if it weren't for them working so hard, Roswell wouldn't be as popular as it is today.
How big is this thing going to be?
Over the 6 days, we'll probably look at 60 to 70,000 people. We're hoping.
Are you sick of the whole thing yet?
No, this has been a pleasure. We're just thrilled about it. We're looking forward to it. We are going to have a lot of fun.
Thank you both so much.
Give me the scoop on the trials and tribulations of doing that interview.
I just told her, I said, you know, we're doing a service for you. And she said, oh no, we're giving you publicity. And I said, we don't need any more. I said, you keep in mind that we're giving you a service. And so, and that's real hard on people, and especially crews that are coming down here. But to be real honest, we don't need the advertising. And although it's neat for them, they need us worse than we need them right now.
Stan Crosby's going to come up and take some questions if you have them.
Every day at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., Stan gives a briefing to the press about what's going on.
Don't miss the costume contest. Okay, those of you with cameras, that is a unique opportunity to get some fairly interesting shots.
The press briefing today was a little uncomfortable because it was one of the first, and I think Stan expected to just give all the members of the press an update, but in fact a lot of them challenged him with some pretty hard questions.
Yes, sir.
You don't care what, there's no credibility at all to the conference.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of credibility to the conference. Right now, I firmly believe that something extraordinary happened here 50 years ago.
I doubt that.
Is there going to be a debate? Because if you don't have a debate with both the military side of it and...
This is a UFO festival. You know, I mean, it's not an anti-UFO festival. So we're going to stack the deck. This is Roswell. What is Roswell associated with? Yes, sir.
One thing that does strike me is you really don't have a focus here. You don't, I mean, you've got Hubcorn's farm, which is one alleged crash site. You know, it'd be great if you had a flying saucer, but you don't.
Yeah.
What can you really come to see except a costume contest or something?
Well, the museums, for one.
So we should perceive this as purely a tourist festival. There's nothing of sort of academic substance.
It would be ludicrous for me to downplay this thing when it's good for Roswell. You know, I mean, yes, we're promoting Roswell.
Make no bones about it.
1 o'clock is the next event, and that'll be here, and that's with Michael Lindemann. Okay?
Let's head out, gentlemen. Sorry.
So what do you make of this festival? I mean, you seemed a little critical in the meeting.
I'm critical because they need to have both sides. You throw all your cards down, you show them your hand, and whoever has the better hand wins.
I want to just do a briefing, but you know, there are reporters with their own agendas that are here too, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, they got to pay bills. You know, so I guess they're writing from their point of view, so that's fine with me.
Okay, see you a little later.
Okay.
And we're the nasty, slimy media.
Oh my God, here they come.
Crash in Roswell and listen to 100.5 JS.
It's the second day of Encounter 97, and things are off to what appears to be kind of a slow start. The crowds really haven't descended here like people expected they would.
Did you just get back from the crash site?
Yes, I did.
How was it?
It was great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a real pilgrimage.
Yeah.
They have a beautiful stone out there that memorializes the dead aliens. And it's really very touching.
Take it you're the famous Hub, huh?
My name's Hub Corn.
Richard Stewart, Houston Chronicle.
Nice to meet you.
Hub Corn really represents Roswell at the crossroads. He comes from a long line of ranchers, and all of a sudden he's got this phenomenon in his backyard. People really want to get out there and see the spot where supposedly a UFO crashed.
My wife and I, decided that we was going to have to do something, to accommodate these people, and so, we put the price tag on it, and we've got to have something for our time coming over here.
Sure.
So anyway, that's where it all began.
So has discovering that you own a famous crash site been a blessing or a curse?
Well, in a sense, it is a blessing. Probably by the end of the week, it'll be a curse.
The media invasion seems like it's getting out of hand now that it's spilling onto the UFO crash site.
What are your credentials?
My name is Sheila Korn. We are the property owners, and that's my only credential.
We're going to move everything.
Okay.
Back in town, things aren't going right for some visitors, and Encounter seems to be unraveling.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry you're unhappy about it. I hope you just go inside and enjoy the lecture instead of making a big deal out of this. Stan, he's extremely unhappy.
Hub Corn is planning concerts. He's got a thriving tourism business. He's got promoters in LA pushing his site. I mean, it just must be very seductive to try and capitalize on this amazingly popular event.
Just do Sheila Korn will be fine.
Hub Corn and his whole family, Sheila and the 3 kids, are sort of managing the site here. So this really is a family-run business, much like their ranch.
What's it taken to get ready for Encounter?
It's just amazing everything that it entails. You think you've got everything covered, and then someone says, "Well, did you do this?" And you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, we didn't do that."
Hello.
It's just been really busy.
Has it been a big financial investment?
It has. We've spent about $15,000 so far alone, and we're hoping, to at least make it back.
Is this your first time in Roswell?
First time, yeah. First time.
What do you think?
It's like my Mecca. My travel to Mecca. This has been a dream of mine, just to commemorate this. I'm a science teacher, I think 7th and 8th graders, so we're doing a curriculum where we're, trying to pique the kids' interest, their imagination. That's lacking in schools today, is imagination. Amazing to see this, to think what actually might have happened here.
What do you believe happened?
I believe there was something. I believe there was probably an extraterrestrial ship. I think it happened, and they've been visiting us ever since.
How many acres do you own?
There's a little over 15,000 acres.
Wow.
Is it hard to deal with press? You get the same questions over and over?
The same questions. The camera right there.
What are your credentials?
My name is Sheila Korn. We are the property owners, and that's my only credential.
Sheila, what do you believe? What does your family believe, or is it bad for business to tell us?
No, I'd be happy to share it with you. When we first started and we first heard about it, I told Howard, I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be known as some kook, you know. But, you know, as the time went on, we were spending much more time up here and we weren't getting anything for our time. So we decided we were going to have to do this. I said, well, you're doing it. I'm not going to do it.
Sheila, are you now saying that he convinced you or that these very...
You bought this place in 1976, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't know what was happening here?
That's right.
What was the point of these 4 pillars? Are they symbolic of anything?
Do you envision like condominiums all around?
No, not at all.
We have a lot of events coming up this week for the 50th anniversary. An alien parade, film festival, and some special lectures being put on by UFO experts.
So let's get our things in here. Let's set it up. Let's put a table. Let's make sure the speaker can be over there. That's the right focus. That corner is just right.
Today was the first day of the lecture series here at Pearson Auditorium, and Dion was just rushing all over the place trying to get everything together for the 9 o'clock lecture.
We're gonna move everything. Okay. Okay.
How's it going, Dion?
It's going, I guess, okay.
She's coordinating 14 different speaker schedules, and that's been hard to kick off this whole event.
Confirmed that he will be here from 1 until 3. I've told him this, but these men don't ever listen to me.
I'm sorry, sir. I mean, I'm sorry you're unhappy about it. I hope you just go inside and enjoy the lecture instead of making a big deal out of this.
Stan, he's extremely unhappy about how we're organizing this by making people go outside and come back in for each lecture.
Maybe we can try to work it better if we ever decide to do this. Okay, we appreciate that. You know, we'll try to work that out.
How you feeling?
Scared. Really scared.
There you have it.
Next time on Eyewitness, a local couple claims that their home video may have captured proof of an alien presence over Roswell once and for all.
This thing was seen by over 100 people in Roswell that night. Now see, when that first passed, we're like, what was that? Was that a bird? Was that debris?
An out-of-town rock and roll promoter is making big plans for a giant UFO rave party.
That there's going to be a big party and MTV and the whole 9 yards.
The old people are angry. We're going to wake them up.
And in a rare, unguarded moment, the pressures finally overwhelm Dion.
Just a failure. Talk to you. I'll talk to you later.